Okay, the live streaming is enabled. I'm sharing my screen, and here's the topics that I have been collected from our recent community discussions on GitHub and also Slack channel. Let me know if you have any other topics you want to add to the list. First of all, I would like to share the status of our transferring process for moving Ratify into Notary project as a sub-project. And then I would like to continue the discussion of a few opening pull requests, like these two spec pull requests from Junjie and from Patrick. And there's another follow-up discussion on the support of artifact type property in notation v1.4 as is forward compatibility. I saw Patrick just joined but left immediately. I'm not sure whether it's any network issues with Patrick. So maybe wait for a while until Patrick joining back. Hey, Patrick, just make sure you are connected. You just lost and joined again.
Yeah, I just lost connection. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, thank you. Let me ping folks from Alibaba Cloud and see whether they are available. We just quickly went through the agenda. Currently, we have 6 agenda topics on the list, and those 3 pull requests that we're gonna talk about in this meeting. And in addition to that, we will also cover one of the potential topic that I had with Alibaba Cloud last week is to exploring the scenarios of sales provenance and sales verification summary support. And maybe we can find another time to brainstorm about how can we support it with Notary project and maybe Ratify. The last one is the proposal of updating the pull request review criteria and align it for all Notary project repositories. Because currently the review and the PR merging criteria is not consistent for several repos in the Notary project org. So we may want to have a consistent PR review criteria. Before we kicking off today's meeting, do you have any topics that you want to add to the agenda list? Junjie and Patrick, anything that I missed in this list? If not, we're gonna start from the first.
No, not from my side.
Okay,
Yeah, nothing else.
okay. For the first topic, this proposal, we still request the inputs from AWS maintainers, and so far, we still this is still pending for their review. So we may open it for one more week and see whether any opinions from AWS maintainers. Hey, Dahu, I just saw you joined.
Hello, Freeman.
Welcome, Dahu. Dahu is from Alibaba Cloud, and he's a security lead.
Hello, everyone.
Hello，大家好。
Hello.
Okay, we just kick off today's meeting, and Dahu, for the context, we have 6 topics on our list. The first one is just we just talked about is one of the proposal to move Ratify into Notary project as a sub-project, and we are waiting for votes from AWS maintainers. Once we aligned on this proposal, we can take actions on moving Ratify into Notary project and maybe bring some discussions to the Notary project committee meeting around Ratify. By the way, Dahu, as we had a very initial discussion around the scenarios of cell-side provenance and the cell-side verification summary support, if we have time today, maybe we can have a very brief discussion on the scenarios and maybe the potential plan for this.
Okay.
Thanks. In terms of the proposal, do you have any ideas on how can we move it forward? I privately pinged Vani from AWS on this proposal. Oh, I think I linked to the wrong GitHub issue. It's actually the Notary project 1. Did you get any response from Vani or someone else from AWS?
No, I also pin them through Slack chat. They didn't respond. I
Okay.
think we can try again.
Okay. Not sure whether they have any concerns on moving Ratify into Notary project because AWS recently announced a policy engine called SIDA that has a little bit similar feature and overlaps with Ratify and Gatekeeper, but I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah, but this is open source. I mean, not a project is open source project, so I think it should be fine. Just need to pin them to respond to this. Yeah, if they see some issues, they also need to comment in this issue. Then we can discuss.
Yeah, we definitely need to move it forward with some discussions with AWS folks. Hopefully we can get any ideas or opinions from AWS. Okay, let's move forward. For this pull request, I believe this is a part of the notation B2.0 beta 1. Patrick, I noticed that you changed the status of this pull request from draft to ready to review. Would you expect any reviews from the community?
No, not yet. It's from a draft to a PR now, but it's not completed. I'm still working on it.
Okay.
It's almost there.
Okay. So you would expect that we can start reviewing it after
I'll send out the notification once it's ready.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
So we can skip it right now, and maybe we can review it asynchronously after it is ready for review?
Yes.
For this pull request, add blob envelope generator capability. This is a part of the, I think, it's still part of notation v2.0 beta 1, right? Oh, I think this is not directly related to beta 1, but we may consider another new version for our specification.
Okay, new version for specification. Okay. Yeah, I think we don't need a new version for the plugin protocol, but for specification, maybe we need a new version.
Yep, I was thinking having a new, maybe a minor version if we introduced, I think it should be minor version because we already introduced a new artifact type property to the signature spec, and this seems to be another one to the plugin spec.
For this PR, previously I have got enough approvals, but in order to solve Freeman's comments, I updated a little bit to improve the language. Do we need to wait for Vani, or we can continue to merge it? Previously, Vani has approved.
As Vani has already approved it last week, I think theoretically we should be good to merge it. Any concerns from other maintainers?
Junjie, did you send the
Yes, I sent a message to Vani, but no reply yet.
yeah, I mean you send it, you already sent it when you did the update, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw the message from Junjie in the Slack channel. If no concerns, maybe we can just go ahead and merge it right now. Then we can discuss whether we want to propose a new minor release for the specification repo, or maybe just a patch release we can discuss. Shui, do you have any concerns to merge this pull request?
Sounds like Shui is in another core.
Okay.
I sit near Shui.
Okay. I just keep it and wait until Shui's response, but we can skip the discussion if no concerns right now. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, let me in the Slack channel ping Wani again, and we can wait for tomorrow to merge this.
Okay. In terms of the release strategy for the specification repos, I think so far we have at least one additional feature, new feature, I mean, to the specification repo because there's an addictive change, like the artifact type property added to the specification, to the signature spec. So I think theoretically, it should be a new minor release. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. It should be a minor release.
And
We
plus,
we also needed to consider this one as well.
yeah, plus these two per request, I think that should be enough for proposing a new minor release because we have 3 new properties introduced to specification repository. I think maybe it should be 1.2.0.
If we don't have the milestone, we can create one and target these issues and PRs. Yeah, we have this one. Let's check.
We have one, but there are some other issues that we scoped previously. We didn't have any actions on them.
Yeah, I think for those issues, we can plan it for a future, especially the first two about the registry scope.
I just closed 1.1 because we already released it last year to clean up some outdated milestone. So I think we may want to add 3 related issues to V1.2 and move the existing 4 issues to future milestones, since so far we don't have any actions on these 4, but we prioritized another 3 issues.
Yes.
Okay, let me take an actions on it. By the way, any concerns from other maintainers? The idea is to group these 2 pull requests and related issues, as well as the another pull request related to artifact type, into a new 1.2 milestone. If no concerns, I'm gonna take actions on moving those 3 issues to this milestone, and we will move these 4 issues out from this scope, from the 1.2 scope. Some of the issues in the current list, we may prioritize it back in our next release, such as the registry scope. We have been received the request from a few users, right? But we will see. And so far, I think these two pull requests should be marked as 1.4, oh sorry, 1.2. This pull request is also part of 1.2. And this one. Okay, so I think the conclusion here is that we will prepare for Notary project specification 1.2 release after we merged those two remaining pull requests. Let's target by end of this week, we can merge those two pull requests and prepare for a new minor release for the specification repos. All right, let's move on. There's another topic that we have been discussed previously, and is a follow-up update on the artifact type property introduced in the signature spec. Patrick, remind me if I missed something. I remember we should consider support the forward compatibility of notation, especially to allow users to produce the signature that compatible with the new format. Is that right? We may want to propose a new CLI flag in the notation v1.4 that allows users to produce the new signature format.
Actually, the new signature format is the default now. So
Oh,
there's no need to add a new flag to the CLI side. So the changes in notation Go, it's already in the main branch.
okay.
Any new signature generated by CLI will have the new signature format.
I see. If the registry
Yeah.
does not support the artifact type property, notation will automatically fall back to the legacy format. That's the desired behavior, right?
That's a good question. Actually, I need to double check that.
Okay.
So if the okay, I need to double check that. That's a good one.
Thanks. Because this pull request has been there for quite well, I forgot a little bit details, but overall, I think we aligned that we should consider forward compatibility and backward compatibility. And if the signature format with artifact type is the default format in notation v1.4, I think ideally we should consider both. I mean, for forward and backward compatibility. That is what we documented in the pull request in the signature spec. Maybe we can check it offline and see what's the current behavior that you define in Notation Go library. So I assume that there's no any follow-up actions related to the artifact type property, whether in Notation CLI or in any plugins, right, Patrick?
Yes, that should be correct.
Okay, we just need to
Yeah.
double check the current behavior in Notation Go. Okay, I think we just finished the discussion of this fourth topic. The fifth topic, in fact, I had an in-person meeting with Dahu at Alibaba Cloud office last week, and we just had some very initial discussion around the scenarios and the current industry trend on sales provenance and verification summary. This is something new to Notary project and also Ratify because we didn't deep dive into or kicked off any discussion around the sales provenance and verification summary report. It is interesting that today I was from the conference, a Microsoft hosted conference, Microsoft Build, and the Docker folks, they announced their hardened image where their attestations are backed by sales provenance, which means Docker users should be able to verify the origins with sales provenance with their Docker Scout CLI. That's something new to us, and it's just a fresh news that I just witnessed from the build, Microsoft build. Docker folks has a presentation with Toddy, who is also the maintainer of Notary project on that topic. So it seems like the sales provenance and also verification summaries are being quite hot and widely adopted by the industry. And not just Docker. We also noticed that GitHub officially supported sales provenance in their attestation support announcement, and also open source projects like Homebrew, they announced their attestation support and introduced it in the Homebrew core packages. So if we use GitHub CLI, we should be able to see gh attest, the CLI command to verify sales provenance attestation. I think this topic still is quite still broader for us and quite new. So we may need to find some time to brainstorming and explore potential scenarios on it. Dahu and Yi, do you have any ideas or inputs around sales provenance and maybe sales verification summary?
Yes, Feynman. Actually, we have not do much more deep dive on this, and I think we should do some proposal or some investigation on how to generate and verification about the provenance and the VSA. And yes, there is some requirements from our customer that they want to attach the VSA and the provenance on our base image and the container image. So yes, we do some simple, we've done some initial investment on the community about this, and we find the witness from the in total community and some other open source project like Macaron, and and we found JKE have released some VSA, the Salsa VSA documents on their official blog, and others like the GitHub generator has integrated with Salsa. And I think we should do some proposal about this feature in future. And maybe we can participate with you or other guys from Microsoft to work on it.
Thanks. I think we definitely need some investigations and also brainstorming on the scenarios and how we're gonna support it to provide values for the customers and also for the broader industry. I think currently we don't have a formal GitHub issues to articulate on sales and provenance support, right? I think you created one issue for in total attestation, but that is not directly related to sales and provenance.
And we have one issue about the taxation. That is not specifically for in total because in the Notary project, we needed to discuss what will be the user story for the attestations and whether we should choose the in total attestation format. Yes, this issue. And the problems, the salsa problems is actually they also leverage the in total attestation framework. It is just one of the predicate. And for the verification summary, another attestation format is also popular because, for example, if container images has several type of in total attestation associated with container images, then user needed to verify them one by one. So the verification summary attestation is a kind of simplify the process. So there could be some other process validate those attestation and then generate a summary. So that from the end user point of view, they just need to validate the summary. So those are all related to the attestation stories. So what kind of user story or scenarios we want to target and what will be the format. And also for us, another important thing from implementation point of view, if we want to go for in total attestation, is that currently in total attestation, the current implementation doesn't support cozy envelope or the JWS envelope. They only support the busy envelope. That's something we also need to discuss. So I think we can use this issue as a kind of parent or the parent issue, so that later on we can break down work items under this.
Thanks, Yi, for the backgrounds. Currently, this issue is marked as 2.1. Next, minus a minor milestone.
Yeah, that is based on previous data. We want to focusing on the blob sign first.
Yeah.
And yeah, after we complete that one, and maybe before we kick off 2.1, we needed to have some kind of a proposal sent out for the committee to review. Then we can implement it in 2.1. And we may
Okay.
need to collaborate with in total community if needed. For example, if we want to add the cozy envelope, so how can we collaborate with them?
Sounds good. And it looks like for the scenarios, we also need to document the desired scenarios from high-level point of view in the specification repos so that we can identify the real use cases for supporting whatever salsa or in total attestation. Just want to let you know that today Docker announced the hardened image. This seems to be a commercial offerings for Docker customers. And if you're looking at their their portal, they have a specification tab which allows their users to query their salsa provenance. I cannot zoom in for this view, but you can watch the demo on their product page. And if you look at here, they provide the salsa compliance support for their hardened image. Okay, I think the next step is that we can continue to investigate the scenarios of salsa provenance and verification summary support, and also identify whether we want to propose cozy envelope support in upstream community. If we have any progress or findings around this topic, we can comment on this issue. Oh, I think we have that issue opened. This one. If we have any findings, we can comment in this issue, or you're also welcome to create a new issue, then we can associate and mark it as a sub-issue of this parent issue. But at least this issue is on track. We are planning to bring it to 1.2 milestone.
I actually have two questions to Yi and Feynman. So the first question is, do you have a survey for the attestation in terms of the container images? So if we know nothing, then we can do nothing. So first we need to have a survey. The second question is that what role does Notary project play in attestation? We just to be compatible with the existing attestation, or we are creating something new?
I think I can first answer this question. So for first one, so attestations, there are different types. We have seen customers asking for for example, the wax documents and the SPON file. SPON has two types, SPDS and also another one, how to pronounce it?
Cyclone.
Grounding.
Cyclone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so do we have a formal report for that?
We don't have a formal report from a community point of view, but we do see from, for example, from Microsoft point of view, we have customers talking about this because if you attach some statement to container images, those statements should be signed. Of course, you can sign with the detached signature, but also you can follow the some popular framework. As you see that in total framework and in total attestations becomes popular recent years in the industry and also recently in total the community becomes I think graduated. So they have a popular adoption. So it's kind of industry standard now. And also, for example, SALSA also adopt in total attestation framework and the format for their provenance attestations. So those are the reason that we are considered in total attestations, and also under in total attestation, the community, they already have a popular predict type that proposed by the whole industry. So especially the SPOM, I just mentioned the wax documents and also the vulnerability. Those are the popular ones. And from Microsoft point of view, as I know that, for example, Defender team, they also choose in total attestation for the vulnerability fundings. Yeah, that's the current status.
Okay, I think we need to do a survey for the attestation so that other parties in the communities can understand what is attestation and what attestation available and what's the difference for of them. So that not only Microsoft, even Alibaba Cloud can understand what is attestation really means, so they can present the attestation to their customers. Of course, for us, we'll also present that to our customers.
Yeah, I have some how to say that for the attestation. What is attestation? I have that described in my issues, so you can comment. And also for Dahu, if you see from your side what kind of attestation, what kind of the predicate type that from your customer they are expecting, you can also comment in this issue so that we know what kind of attestation that we can focus maybe first for our users. And
Okay.
yeah, and for the role of notary projects, I think notary projects should be able to create those attestations, right? By saying creation, I mean that the statement itself can be generated by other tools. For example, Treaty generates the vulnerability report, and Swift generated the spawn file, right? And notation can attest those statements by signing it, and it can generate in total attestation format, but it can be some other formats. We can discuss about that, but in total, attestation, as I just mentioned, is a kind of industry practice now, so we should collaborate with them because from Notary project point of view, we also have this standard-based solution as our mission. So we should targeting for the standard format in the industry so that it can benefit users from different cloud and also avoid the vendor locking issues. Yeah, notary projects should be able to generate the decisions by signing these statements, produce signatures, and can formulating this in total attestation format. And also notary project should be able to verify those, provide the tooling for user to verify those attestations by validating the signatures. So currently, I see some issues is that the signature envelope I just mentioned. And another thing in this issue, I also mentioned that the attestation payload. For example, for the SPOM attestation, the in total attestation, they basically include the complete content in the as a payload. So it could be very large, for example, for Windows image. But this problem can be solved by the verification summary attestations. So currently there, I don't have any solutions or answers for this. These are some areas we need to investigate and figure out what will be the solution from Notary project. Yeah, I think for the next step, it would be that we need to first understand from our user point of view what will be the attestations scenarios. I think Dafu can also help to provide insight from your customers. Then we will need to discuss what will be the attestations predicate if we want to approach in total attestation, whether we should prioritize spawn, whether we should prioritize vulnerability, all these attestations, we will think about what will be the solution about it.
Okay, Yi.
Hi, Shui. In terms of the survey, I had an idea to add a general survey on the website to have a few questions for Notary Project users and understand the user behaviors and their environment, not just for attestation, but for attestation, my understanding that we want to know which type of the attestation that users is currently embracing, right? Is that the purpose of the survey for attestation?
So the purpose of the survey is to let the newcomers know what is attestation and what is it for. Because for signatures, you are sure that you are ensuring the integrity of the image, right? But what about attestation? So do you have the right concept of attestation and how it works, right?
I think this issue has a fundamental introduction for the concept of attestation.
Yes, and you have mentioned that we have a lot of attestations. We have GitHub artifact attestations, self attestations, and sometimes I heard that attestation is somehow mixed with the SBOMs, but they are different, right?
Yeah, they are different. SBOM is just a part of
SBOM.
yeah. I think in general, attestation is some kind of authentic statement that can
Yeah.
prove something. That is in general.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah.
the problem here is that no one in this chat can clearly state what is attestation and what is SBOM and what's the difference between them. So no one can explain that. That's the issue here. That's why we need a survey.
Yeah, and also Salsa, they have the attestation definition in their specification. I think I think from my point of view, I think they are aligned with I mean my understanding. It's kind of a signed statement. But this signed statement can be different type, for example, SBOM file or some others provenance. And in total, just provided this framework and also the attestation format for the community.
To collect more feedback and also customer scenarios in terms of the context of attestation, I can also add this question to the survey because I was planning to add an anonymous survey to the website. Maybe we can receive some response from users on how does users think about attestation and which format that users are currently expecting. Maybe we can park this discussion at the moment, but because we have only 10 minutes left. But the fact is that we still need more investigation on that, whether on scenarios or the concept.
By the way, Feynman, whereas a survey is not a paper survey, it's a literature survey. So
Literature
basically,
survey?
yeah. So yeah, yes. So I can discuss with you later in the offline to show what's the meaning of a survey. Yeah.
Okay, we should align on the understanding. If no more discussions around the attestation and the SALSA, maybe we can park this discussion at the moment, but we can continue the investigation on this broader topic. And our plan is still keep it as a part of Notary project 2.1. And we can also expand the discussion to cover the verification scenario around SALSA provenance and VSA support on Ratify side once we merged Ratify into Notary project as a sub-project. We will see. And I think ideally, if we can get supermajority of approvals for that proposal, we should have Ratify folks join this meeting next time. The last topic is a draft proposal. I was thinking to update or propose a new pull request review guidance and also the criteria in the Notary project governance doc, because currently we have different review criteria for several repos. For example, in the specification repos, looks like we require at least 3 approvals from the maintainers, right? But for notation CLI website and Go library, we require only 2 approvals. For core Go, I think we require 3. Is there any other repositories that we require 3 approvals? I think the .github repo. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, for this pull request, I think maybe I can find another one. For Kogo, I think we also need at least 3 approvals to get it merged, right? Junji and Patrick, can anyone help to double check the review criteria for Kogo repo?
Yes, we need 3 approval. I will review it again.
So I mean, our current per request merge criteria for Kogo is that we will require at least 3 approvals from the reviewers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that might be a problem because different repos may have different criteria, and especially for specification repos, currently we require 3 approvals from the maintainers, but looks like our maintainers' activities is not matched with that criteria. We always need to wait for a long time to reach that criteria and get at least 3 approvals to get a pull request merged. So I was thinking that maybe we can align the criteria for all of the repos or just a couple of the critical repos, especially those repos have frequent changes. I was planning to add a new pull request review guidance to the .github repo, and I was thinking that maybe for specification, we should align it with other repos for the review criteria. But for Kogo and .github, what's your opinion around those 2 repos? Do you want to relax the review criteria, such as decrease the approval criteria from 3 approvals to 2 approvals or 2 reviewers? Any concerns from our maintainers? Or maybe it requires more clarity on my question, on my proposal.
Yeah, I think we can, we only have 4 minutes. We can discuss further because we can think about currently the active maintainers. For example, for notation Kogo, if we only have 3 active maintainers, but we still ask for 3 approvals, that means if one of the maintainer create a PR, then we don't have 3 approvals, right? Because only
Yeah.
3 are active. So we can discuss this further if we all agree. Maybe Femin, you can help to create a vote so that we can update the policies.
Yeah, I can go for it. And my plan was to propose a relatively formal review guidance in the GitHub repo so that we can align on the detailed review process. But I will not complicate the current process. The idea is to accelerate the pull request review and improve our review efficiency, especially for those pull requests and repos that have been slowing down for a long time. And going forward, if we want to change the review policy, we just need to update the review guidance. Okay, I think we covered everything on our list. So for the last topic, I will raise a pull request to standardize the review guidance and ask maintainers to review on it. Anything else? If not, I think we can close today's meeting. Thank you everyone for joining the first APAC-friendly meeting.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks, Dahu, for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day. Have a good night.
Thank you.